Good evening, good day. I still haven't mastered how to start that because where you are and what time it is may not be the same. So I'm going to share my screen and jump right in. A little late here, as it usually is when I jump into the work. Um, we are very involved and engaged with our children, our family, and it takes up a lot of my day, and I have a lot of other stuff going on, even when I don't work at my 9 to 5er. The section we will be diving in today on the website, EvolvingSeeds.com, the solutions focused activism magazine, organization, network, entity, is support these activists. Evolving Seeds Support is dedicated to providing a little spotlight, and support is in quotation marks because it was part of a section, not because we're supporting people or being sarcastic about that support, because this is very important. So Evolving Seeds Support is dedicated to providing a little spotlight on solutions-focused activists and organizations. They are doing the work on the ground, planting the seeds. These activists and organizations deserve your attention, your respect, and your help if you have the means. Thank you for your consideration. So we have broken it down somewhat and organized it somewhat into the various aspects of activism and activists. So here we're presenting natural law advocates or abolitionists. These people are engaged in the work of revealing that largely mankind is still engaged and being subdued, coerced, and manipulated by forces which have rendered them slaves to these systems and these institutions, and they are being enslaved. And so we feature the work of Glenn Tram, who we feature first over here, who has put together the Great Work Experience. The Great Work Experience is featured on the One Great Work Network, as well as Glenn Tram's own website. And there are ways to interact. Here it is with his website here. You can go to his other platforms here. We have Corey Indrulat, who has been an avid supporter of EvolvingSeeds.com. He put together the What is Wrong with Most People article and made a video of it and featured it on the Liberator 2, and we featured the Liberator 2 and that article here. So Corey is an abolitionist who has recognized the imminent challenges we face and the variables and the psychology behind it, the history behind it. Brandon Spencer, all three of these activists are featured on the One Great Work Network, the network developed by Mark Passio to kind of cultivate and wrangle in all of these great abolitionists, these great human beings who have done a lot of work toward providing information, documentation, evidence of what is really going on here and how can we address it and produce and generate solutions. So Brandon Spencer is featured. He has his own set of links. Some of these are link trees. So EvolvingSeeds.com, before I go any further, one of our main goals and functions is to uplift other activists. I should have started with this, but that is one of our main things. So if you know of activists who are doing the work and are effective, let us know. This is something that we put together to provide highlight to activists who may or may not be getting enough highlight and acclaim and exposure elsewhere. We have Robin Sabin for Palestine. We have Calling Up Justice. And the only reason why I'm skipping through them is because I deal with, that's a terrible way to put it, I commune with and engage with Calling Up Justice on TikTok, but I don't want to misrepresent what they facilitate, even though it's literally right here. And same with Robin Sabin. These are people who I, at some point, came across their activism and decided to feature it, but I have not dove into or unwrapped or unpacked their activism. Pedestrian Dignity is an activist I'm very familiar with. That's Jonathan Stalls, who has turned the highways and byways and the sidewalks and walking and motorbiking or using wheelchairs and engaging in pedestrian engagements, turned it into an art, turned it into a platform, or not turned it into a platform because it exists as the public platform, if you will, but just articulating so well and engaging with city officials, city planners to engage with our environment and generate more equity for those of us who are pedestrians in a car-centered world. So as you can see, I've done more deep diving into pedestrian dignity. I was first introduced to pedestrian dignity from TikTok, but we feature their website, we feature their link tree, just a lot of great. It's a perfect example of how you can take one small passion that you have and turn it into an enterprise of activism. And I don't mean enterprise in a capitalistic way. I mean enterprise in a holistic way, if that makes sense. We feature Search for Uhuru, someone who left the United States and we don't use the term African American around here, but the individual who was born in the United States, and I don't want to misrepresent. I don't know if he was born here and moved back to Africa, or if he was born in Africa, moved to the United States, and then moved back to Africa. But in any case, they were in the United States and they wanted to have a deeper understanding of their homeland and Africa, and to dispel many of the stereotypes and the preconceived notions people have about Africa. And so he travels around Africa and features the culture, the people, the politics, everything, and gives us an in-depth, on-site, on-the-ground perspective of that. DJ Elf7 is an activist in New York who is always on the ground. As you can see in the photograph right there, they're always on the ground, speaking to people and finding out exactly what the heart and the pulse of the people is beating to. What's the drum people are beating to, and how can we navigate that, those waves, and how can we navigate that and find the solutions through communing with each other and discussing and communing with each other and interviewing each other and more. This individual and this activist, all these activists that I'm talking about, do a lot more than what I'm trying to respectfully summarize their work as. Brandon Spencer, I think, is featured up here as well. Still, yep. Sorry, I gotta delete one of those. Che Guerrero, I have not ever spoken with this individual, and a lot of these people I have never spoken with, and many of them I have. But Che, I've never spoken with. They are an activist for undocumented individuals, because we definitely don't use the term around here, illegal immigrant or even immigrant. This is a dirt rock hurtling through space at like several thousand miles per hour. I think it's somewhere around 23 or 24,000 miles an hour. So all of the borders that as we've stated in our frequently asked questions, we do not believe in borders around here. So all the documented, undocumented, if you identify as an immigrant, if you identify as Mexican, Guatemalan, if you identify as if you literally come from Mars, if you are a Martian, you are more than welcome to park your ass all up in these United States, as far as I'm concerned. And I just speak for myself and, the United States. I speak for myself and EvolvingSeeds.com. But that's Che, and they have spent 16 years tackling race politics and xenophobia and everything that says down there, and that activist is featured here. And the only reason why I'm saying it like that is because I'm literally trying to give you a general idea. We would like you to inform us of activists and organizations that you think deserve to be featured. See, I feature Brandon and Corey here twice because I've actually spoken to them and engaged with them, and they do so much work that sometimes I feature them twice because I forget that I'm talking about the same damn person. There's in honor of Aaron Bushnell. So that's another effective activist. I do not agree with the United States military or the military industrial complex, But I think if you had the opportunity to ask Aaron Bushnell if he supports those things, he would have told. I don't want to speak for a person who was no longer with us, but I think his actions are pretty strong, that he would not support the United States military-industrial complex either. But I did want to feature his act here. It is censored. It does bleep out a physical blur over the flames that engulf this man's body. But we did, here at Evolving Seeds, respect the hell out of his act of protest, his act of bravery. And this is what Evolving Seeds is about. You don't have to be an activist your whole life. As Colossus said in Deadpool 2, I think it was, you don't wake up a hero and go to sleep a hero. I mean, some of us do. But you don't have to wake up a hero and go to sleep a hero, brush your teeth a hero, take a shower a hero. You just have to be a hero and step up when it's time to be a hero and time to step up. And you don't always have to go through these links, but we thought that it was apt and pertinent to feature Aaron Bushnell. And more. I mean, there's more, but there's another thing I wanted to say about Aaron Bushnell is that if you go to Palestine now, there is a street named after Aaron Bushnell because the people of Gaza respected his sacrifice and his bravery. And I know a lot of people had a lot of nasty shit to say about Aaron Bushnell and his act, but that's because those people are cowards through and through. They couldn't imagine, they're so vocal about how they couldn't imagine doing what he did. And it's largely rooted in the fact that they couldn't imagine lifting a finger to do a motherfucking thing for any motherfucking body. That's just my observation. But yes, this is the Evolving Seeds branches effective activist section. We're going to move on to the effective organization section because I'm going to kind of breeze through this and call it a night. Effective organizations. Evolving Seeds Support is dedicated to providing a little spotlight on solutions-focused organizations. They are doing the work on the ground, planting the seeds. These organizations deserve your attention, your respect, and your help if you have the means. Thank you for your consideration. I have made it a vow. I have other shows and other platforms, other accounts that I've done here on YouTube and elsewhere that never generated nothing I've done activism-wise has ever generated the kind of numbers that even the wackest, weakest rapper or the cutest, fuzzy little kittens or the preachiest preachers numbers have had on any platform. I have always been suppressed. There has always been very little interest in solutions-focused activism, so I have vowed not to be going out of my way to present this information in a super professional way with commercials or graphics. And no, I got the screen share and whatever I can get you here is what I can get you. I'm not going to be dressing up too much. I got my cloak on, my Evolving Seeds shirt. I've gotten it as quiet as I can. But if you're here to actually make a difference, then the way you receive valid information, relevant information, as long as it's not disrespectful, is what it is. And I hope that you can dismiss the lack of professionalism and shininess to this video and to this content, and just take the information for what it is if you want the information. It's also on the website, so you totally don't even have to watch this video. You could just go to the website and read or explore at your own pace. The most honored organization or affiliate that I could mention, in my opinion, despite the fact all of these are honorable and they're mentioning, the way to achieve all of the other organizations' goals that I'm going to show after this organization is through this organization. The One Great Work Network. It features, I want to see how many now. It features, at the last time I checked, there were 70 content creators that feature groundbreaking content about natural law, sovereignty, tyranny, slavery. All of these people are abolitionists. There's Brandon Spencer that we feature. Just going across, I'm not going to read these. You can read them as they go by. This website was put together, this forum was put together by Mark Passio of the One Great, of whatonearthishappening.com. There is yeah family. There's Glenn Tram, but Mark Passio is an activist. He is an aggregator of information, a researcher, a de-occultist, someone who brings hidden information into the light. Put together this website, and all of these individuals have put together groundbreaking content toward the means of waking people out of their mass hypnosis, providing solutions where there haven't been solutions, engaging, there's Mark right there, engaging with individuals from a holistic standpoint, their internal health, their external health, their spirituality. But the reason why this will enable all of these other organizations that I'm about to show to achieve their goals is because this is founded in principles. These content creators are presenting information and data and history and knowledge that is geared toward refining foundational principles, which will grant us the ability to engage in anything. And so all of these content creators deserve your attention. As far as I'm concerned, I have not dove into all of them, and I'm not going to hint at who I have other than Mark here, and the ones that I feature on the website, which is Conrad, Jonathan. I think I featured a couple of his videos, but other than that, all of these people deserve your attention. All of these people are legends and deserve your attention. Legends. So legends. So please, I'm trying not to insinuate, trying to isolate who I have dove into and experienced their work. Legends, but just go on the One Great Word Network and you'll have access to finding legend. I'm gonna stop and go back because there's so many people and so many legends on that website that I could just continuously keep pointing out. But that is the One Great Word Network. The Venus Project. The Venus Project facilitates or features, and I'll actually play it because it should be quiet. Hopefully this thing is recording. The mic was off. Venus Project is an organization that presents a socioeconomic system called a resource-based economy, which Evolving Seeds has identified as the default socioeconomic system for emerging sentient species, civilizations, etc. The Venus Project was founded by Jacques Fresco and Roxanne Meadows, and aims to realize a resource-based economy which differentiates itself from the other socioeconomic systems such as capitalism, socialism, communism, and dictatorships, by declaring all naturally occurring resources a common heritage to all human beings, and by then not applying an arbitrary value to those naturally occurring resources, namely living beings, and also having sustainability and consent as the pillars of this society. But it's all encompassing. It has to be a global thing because resources come from all over the globe. And if we want to have access to all of the types of things we're accustomed to, we would have to have, we wouldn't be able to have too many places or countries or environments that are being held captive by tyrannical regimes like they are today. The Venus Project continually and perpetually is working towards the realization of resource-based economy, as is EvolvingSeeds.com. We also feature an organization on here that is a proponent of a resource-based economy. It's almost like a second opinion because the Venus Project is the largest proponent of a resource-based economy, but resourcebasedeconomy.org also presents information about a resource-based economy using a lot of Jacques Fresco and Roxanne Meadows' work, but it presents it as like a second opinion. Like, yeah, they discovered this, but we're going to tell you what we think about it, and we think it's great. Like Evolving Seeds, we want to tell you what we think about it, and we think that it's great. The resourcebasedeconomy.org also facilitates the ability for us to look at it in a different light, which is very important. So all the time you see these little green buttons, and it will take you to their links so that you can interact with them, engage with them. All of these organizations could use support, help, financial assistance, any of that. Especially, no, I shouldn't do that. These organizations, Radical Guide, this is an organization that has worked with grassroots organizations and individuals to improve their activism for quite a while. The Liberator 2 is an organization that is like Evolving Seeds in that they aggregate activist organizations and compiles them into a syndicate or a concert of activists and activism that is solutions focused, that is based in abolition and self-ownership and principle. So we feature Corey again. This is Corey from the Effective Activist section in the Effective Organization section. The General Strike US.com. I work very closely with some of the founders. You can also see that the Radical Guide, it works with the General Strike. And so there's a lot of cross networking and cross activism that goes on because we're solidifying something. It's a mesh. It's a mesh now, but if we keep weaving the web, it'll become solid, a solid force of activism and infrastructure and equity development and generation. But essentially, the General Strike is attempting to inform and collect and galvanize the populace toward the means of a general strike where we don't buy anything, we don't go to work, so on and so forth. And I do want to mention the Red Cross. Excuse me. This is like the opposite of all that. The Red Heart Coalition right here. We work with them, and it's a network, like I said. And we are working on striking and developing this strike. And it's a general strike from, like I said, consuming too much, going out and shopping, and going to work, paying taxes, engaging in the system in any way, shape, or form, really. And that yields to what we need to be doing to provide or have access or to generate access to the things that we either are accustomed to or are necessities for our survival once we do this strike. And then we have a strike card, which signifies how many people have signed the strike card and intend to engage in this strike. And the numbers are not small. Last time I checked, come on, internet, Wi-Fi. But anyway, you can sign your strike card and show your solidarity with the other individuals like myself. I've signed my strike card with the other 100 and something thousand, it should be popping up here, people who have signed this card. I don't know why signing a strike card. Yeah. I wanted it to pop up. Oh, there it is. You see? There it is. But there it is. This is the amount that have committed, and it was 113 the last time I saw it. Now it's 118,125 individuals. We need 10,881,875 individuals to sign their strike card. We are attempting to get, if I remember correctly, 3% of the U.S. population to sign their strike card and show solidarity. And it's not just showing solidarity, it allows us to communicate with each other. We have basically 118,000 people who have said, we're ready to do something different. And that means we have 118,000 emails where we can show them something different that doesn't require them to believe anything or to change their beliefs or to vote for one tyrant or another, but to actually begin to engage. Hey, we see that you want to work with us and work with the other 118,000 people or whatever the number is when we decide to act, when we're able to act. Say, hey, this is what we can do. This is what we've worked on with your help. So sign your strike card today. Start finding out. If you haven't, please join the General Strike. Check, sign up for the emails. If you're on TikTok, please look up General Strike US. GeneralStrikeUS.com, which is where I am right now. Oh yeah, but on TikTok, I think it's General Strike US, and so on and so forth. But sign your strike card. We also feature the Altruist Relief Kitchen, which are, I mean, just dynamos at raising funds to go out and provide assistance to those in need during disasters. This activist was honored enough and lucky enough to meet Lucid Del Mundo, which is the individual you see in the right here. He and his band of volunteers, which come from all over the place. This man probably doesn't work with the same people twice. They have been in Syria and Syrian refugee camps providing food. I met them in Houston during Hurricane Harvey. And I don't want to play too much of this because I don't want to make the, sounds going through. But essentially, they are very good at raising funds to go out and provide assistance. And one of the reasons I know is because, as you can see in the background, they actually feature all of their donations. They have a very detailed accounting of their donations, where they come from, where they go, where's your money, what does your money go to? And so they've been very successful, and they use large teepees. That's what I wanted to show you. Large tents or teepees to facilitate this assistance, and they move very quickly. Let's see. I wanted to see some of the places they had been, because it was a lot of places. The Alliance for Reason and Knowledge, who is founded by Robert Shields, the leader or the president, if I'm not mistaken, of the Green Party in Alaska. We have been in close contact with him. Robert Shields is a proponent of the Venus Project and a resource-based economy. So that's where we met, is in our affinity for that, our desire to realize that. Farm Free Aquaponics is an individual that I've known who also knows and works with Robert Shields and is a proponent of a resource-based economy. This individual is attempting to make mobile aquaponic systems, and they largely have done it. Let's see how we click on these links, and there's nothing there because we are the sole proprietors, and it's not there. But then I go to click it again, and it's there because funds got rearranged or whatever was the problem got fixed. But here we have the ARAHA, which is the Horn of Africa. It is a foundation geared towards helping stabilize destabilized countries and communities in Africa. We can just go right to the website, speak on it on its own accord. But as you can see, this is how big Evolving Seeds is. But this is the ARAH, the American Relief Agency for the Horn. American? That's not African? American. I'm pretty sure it said African, but on that wall back there, and the thing said American. I'm tripping, right? I would just like the name written out somewhere very plainly. Anyway, so yeah, we feature this organization. Looks like I'm gonna have to do a little bit more vetting on it because I swear in the background it said that it was an American organization. Did you guys see that? Like right over here, they were having some kind of soiree celebrating something, probably their activism. American Relief Agency for the Horn. Okay, I'm just gonna have to do a little bit more research. If anybody wants to jump in on this, tag in on this one with me and find out what's going on with this. And if you know any organizations that you think deserve to be featured here, or any activists that deserve to be featured here, that's what this area is all about. And that is the point. And again, I was referring to a resource-based economy. I feature this here as a second opinion to a resource-based economy, as opposed to only having the Venus Project. And then we would be featuring content and downloads and kind of miscellaneous or things that expand or expound on what they've done. Some of the documents they themselves present, like the Alliance for Reason and Knowledge, has Good Jobs National Expansion PDF file, which I can't believe I just clicked that because I think it's going to actually download it, but it takes you Good Jobs National Expansion Plan, investing in the planet and her people. This is just one file. That's Robert. This was a little bit ago. Throwing shade, Robert. This was a little bit ago. This picture's a little old. And I do try to make this a little entertaining because this is arduous. Some of this can be arduous or boring for some people if they're not used to engaging with this. This is one of the founders of the Bridge and the eco villages that are geared towards the same type of sustainable, eco-friendly, decentralized development that Evolving Seeds is. They actually featured Nipsey Hussle on their website as one of their influences, which I need to emulate that and feature Nipsey my damn self, because Nipsey inspires me daily through his music, through his interviews, so on and so forth. So these have been the Evolving Seeds branches: effective activists and effective organizations. Next time, or not necessarily next time, but I do want to get into the intentional communities, because these are the things that are priorities in facilitating generating access for those of us who do not have access to the bare necessities of life at this point and are being swept away by the sheer bureaucracy and supremacy of these systems. We will be showcasing all of these sections, but some of them take priority over the other ones, and so I'm trying to get to them. And then after all of this has been wrapped up, we will move into presenting Evolving Seeds' original concepts, original programs, interviewing the activists that we think are really doing the work and deserve your attention right now. And it's because of the type of work they do or whatnot. And we do want to continue to present data that is in the right formation, rendering it information, so that we can continue to present the truth to you of the matter as it emerges and as we discover historical data that is becoming more accurate. We want to be the ones presenting that to you. And I really hope you guys are beginning to understand how vast and all-encompassing activism is. And I hope we're doing a good job at presenting it. And one of our goals is to bring solutions-focused activism into the mainstream so that we can begin to change the culture of and the perception of activism and the activist. So thank you for joining us. Please be safe out there, and thank you for your consideration as usual.